All right, MMA Maniacs, here we go. Another installment of Split Decision, your MMA podcast that you get weekly from SplitDecisionMMA.com. Also on our Spreaker, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. You can get us on YouTube. You can get us pretty much anywhere. iTunes, if you subscribe there, you'll never miss a show. Follow us on Facebook. Look up Split Decision MMA Podcast. Also, of course, on Instagram and Twitter, SD_MMA. Bueller and Dodge from the Ruloff Family Inc. Studios, ready to give you some news, break down last week's fights, and see what else is happening in the wide world of MMA. Looks like first up we have a fight possibly happening September 9th in Brazil.
Possibly.
All right.
So we have a rematch of Andre Arlovski versus Bigfoot.
Okay.
Ultimate Fight Night 51, September 9th, Brazil.
I don't hate it.
Some people are a little upset because they're saying that Andre Arlovski is getting a main card, a main event status fight after his second fight back in the UFC and after a shitty fight in the UFC.
I can understand that aspect of it, I guess, but I mean, it's also an Ultimate Fight Night.
Right.
You know,
in Brazil.
Yeah, so who really gives a shit?
In Brazil.
Yeah. Really make us think about something else.
Of course, one of the people that are upset about it is Brandon Schaub. And Dana White says, he's like...
Didn't you just lose?
Yeah, he lost.
Yeah,
he lost Arlovski.
He lost to Arlovski.
He lost to Arlovski in that shitty fight. And Dana White says, you know what? I got Brendan Schaub calling me saying that I've been robbed, bro. You weren't robbed. We were robbed. As fans, we were robbed. That fight was shitty.
The fact that we had to sit there and watch that happen took minutes away from our lives.
He's like, I've seen some robberies in my life and in the fight game. He's like, that wasn't one of them other than for the fans.
No, you were on the losing end of a shitty fight.
Yeah.
That doesn't give you anything.
No,
there's nothing for you to stand on at that point. I don't hate the fight. I mean, like you said, it's a fight night and it's in Brazil.
Yeah.
So what?
Let it sell. Yeah. Let it sell Brazil.
Yeah, exactly. So whatever, man.
Another fight. So we have the announcement. This happened during which we kind of talked about already, but happened officially. It got announced at the UFC Fight Expo, Fight Week Expo, and officially got announced at UFC 175, which we'll cover here in a little while. UFC 178, John Jones versus Alexander Gustafsson 2 will be happening in Vegas in September.
This is great news.
Yeah.
I'm glad this
will be
is
September
finally going
27th.
Down. Yeah, considering the UFC just released their power rankings too, or sure I dig. Who released them? Somebody just released their power rankings, and you got Gustafsson at the very bottom, and Jones is like essentially number 1 or something.
Yeah.
Oh. So it's good. It's a good fight. I'm glad it's finally going to happen again.
So, and then also on that same card, we get to see Zombie Hands Dominic Cruz make his return after a 3-year layoff. 3-year layoff.
I can't even,
but he's making his return against Takeya Mizugaki, which I think is an awesome fight for him, especially as a comeback fight. It's kind of mid-range. It's not directly in it.
Something that he needs.
Yeah, something he's not at the low end of the spectrum there at bantamweight, but he's definitely not at the top end. It's kind of middle of the ground.
He's a good middleman.
And Mizugaki is always game and always down to fight. So
it'll see where Dominic Cruz is at after a 3-year layoff. I mean, who's been off longer than that to come back to fight?
I don't know.
I can't even the only person if Gina Carano came back, she would definitely be the longest.
Right?
Carano, I can't think of anybody that's been off 3 years and then came back to fight. That's crazy.
It's pretty crazy. So one of the fights that didn't happen at UFC 175, we could talk about that now, or we can talk about it later when we come to the fights. Talk about now?
I mean, if it didn't happen at the fights...
Didn't happen. So one of the fights that didn't happen was Stefan Struve was supposed to make his 16-month return to the octagon. Remember, he had an enlarged heart, and he was having a leaking aortic valve problems.
Sounds like an STD, I swear to God.
Yeah, it does not sound good. He basically said that he had an elevated heart rate and almost fainted, almost blacked out before the bout. Literally before they were walking out, while they were in the back, he had basically like a panic attack.
Almost? I thought he did.
They're saying there's conflicting reports. He says he never blacked out. He says he got dizzy and he had a panic. Dana White said it was a panic attack. One of the reports said he blacked out completely.
Well, he wouldn't know if he blacked out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He would be completely honest for him to say, I don't think anything happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did anybody else see him black out?
They said, and then there was other reports. It was a near fainting episode.
There's footage of it. Somebody has
Basically,
you know what I mean? There's cameras everywhere.
I literally think what it was. He got dizzy. He had to sit down. You know
Oh,
what I
that's
mean? And
different
He
than,
had
like-
heart palpitations, and they wouldn't let him fight.
Yeah, if he got dizzy and had to sit down, it's way different than like
Blacking
the
out.
Leaning Tower of Pisa finally falling over.
Yeah, that's what I'm
this
saying.
isn't-
That's
and
a
not
lot of blood to get everywhere. You know what I
This is
mean?
not only about. This isn't like what is it? Kevin Randleman who hit his head on a pipe before going out to a UFC event, and they had to cancel that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Then that's what I'm saying. Like he's 6'11". If he fell down and blacked out, I mean,
Hey, but didn't we have a fight where a guy fell over on his stool? They put him back up on his stool, and the ref let him go back in for
no, that was
round
$1
two.
Million Baby.
No, it really happened.
She didn't get back up.
Yeah, that didn't happen. You watched a different version.
No, wait.
was
What
the
fight
lead
was
scene.
that? I do remember that.
It was another league.
Yeah, it was another league where the guy fell off the stool.
Oh yeah, that's the last.
Passed out, kind of got up.
They were like,
sat
"Come
back
on,
down."
bro, come on."
Like I said, it's not like Kevin Randleman who literally was rolling in the back and hit his head on a pipe, knocked himself unconscious, and wanted to go out there and fight. And they're like, "Oh, you know."
Everybody wants to fight after they get knocked out. They want to fight the
Or
refs.
it's not like, who was it? Ken Shamrock, who was about to go on to fight Kimbo and instead gets elbowed in the face
Right.
accidentally while in the back room before his fight, and then they had to get old Seth Petrozelli to knock out Kimbo.
That's hilarious. That's amazing to me. The only thing that would have made it funnier is if Randleman would have ran out from the back and then tried to fight the ref. Because that's the rule. If you get knocked out, you have to try to fight the ref.
Apparently.
yeah.
We saw that this weekend.
Yeah,
man.
we're going to talk
I
about that
think,
later.
I think the fight with the ref was longer than the fight she was in.
We'll talk about it later.
Later,
So,
man.
Later, man.
He says he is gonna. He says it had nothing to do with his heart. He think it had to do with his mental scare that he had. It was kind of jitters that he's looking into it, and then he will be back in the cage.
Hey, Struve, that involved your heart, dude.
Right?
You mentally mind fucked yourself.
And your heart went crazy.
And your heart went crazy.
So I'm sure you saw this UFC 175. We had a broken toe.
Yes, it did. Nasty.
My favorite part is in between rounds, in between the first and second round when they first noticed it, the whole corner on Uriah Hall's camp was able to convince the doctor that his foot normally looked like that. That is not a lie. They're like, no, it's normally like that. It's not a big deal. It's like that all the time. And the doctor was like, oh, okay, no big deal. And left. And then between 2 and 3, he was like, no, bro, I can see the bone. Yeah, okay, maybe you have one of those weird toes that folds over. I'll let it go the first time. But now I see the bone and it's bleeding. That's not normal. But because it was not impeding his movement and not impeding on how he was fighting, he was not limping on it, they had to let it go. Just like the blood gets in the eye and that sort of thing. He would get up and started running on it back and forth anytime the doctor came to look at him so that he could continue fighting.
So that
And
bone
then the
was
minute-
just out dragging?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the minute the round was over, he'd go back and sit down and almost pass out.
It's in the bone.
And then the doctor would come over, he'd get up and start running again, and he would continue the match. And
You would-
still kick with it.
That's what I'm saying. You would think there would be an illegal weapon at that point. Doesn't it become a shank?
See the nice little x-ray here?
Doesn't it become like a shiv? Because now, if he kicks his opponent in the side
And it gets
the
stuck
bone
in it?
goes
Did they save it? Or are they just going to lance that thing off?
No, I'm pretty sure they're going to save it.
Save
Put a
it.
cap on it, a little nub cap.
They're like the ones the magicians use to like hide stuff. Yeah. It's just a little fake toe. It's gonna be pulling out little,
Little
silk
red balls.
hankies and belt
Oh
balls
my
and stuff.
little red Nerf balls.
That should be his pre-weigh-in, like the showdown. He takes off his shoe and pulls out a little thing, and it says, "You're already gonna lose." It's like a magic trick.
No, yeah, he
Pulled that out of my
kicks,
toe.
and then the flag comes out. Saying,
Yeah.
Boom.
Like one of those old pop guns from back in the day.
That was bang.
But this one would say, you lost.
This one just says, "Sorry, Adam."
I suffer from Tolio.
So, aw.
Oh,
Better call him a tow truck. What did you think of the Uriah Hall fight, though?
I thought it was good. He showed a lot of heart.
Yeah.
He showed a lot of heart. Well, hopefully he can stick around.
I gave it 9.5 toes.
He gave it 8.5.
All right.
So the Nevada State Athletic Commission has released a amended complaint to Chael Sonnen. He's going to face up to $250,000 in fines, which he's likely not actually ever going to have to fucking pay. Let's be honest. Unless he comes back to fight, which they said he won't be allowed to, and he tries to apply for a license.
Oh, so it's like a lien on your license.
Yeah. So if it's like, hey, you want to come back and fight? You owe us $250,000. Nah, I'm good.
And that's the NSAC. You go fight in Florida.
Right? Where the guy wasn't actually licensed to fight. We'll get to that in the next story.
Oh, God.
So they asked Dana White, what's he been up to? He just said, hanging out, laying low. They asked him, do you still have any money? He says, every cent you ever paid me.
Really?
So apparently he's doing just fine.
Well, we already knew from the scams he's on money. He knows what to do with money. He knows where to put money.
He has accepted all full responsibility from his lawyer. Mr. Sonnen does not dispute any factual allegations contained in the First Amendment complaint. Mr. Sonnen accepts responsibility for his actions and will comply with the commission in a prompt resolution for this matter. He has a case July 23rd.
He knows how to work the crowd. I mean, just like Dana asked him if he has any money, every cent you ever paid me. That's probably a lie.
I'm sure he's got money.
But he's not going to say...
I'm broke.
Yeah, he's not going to say...
I don't think he's anywhere close to being broke.
No, but even...
I'm struggling, Dana. Thank you.
But even an answer of, I'm all right, wouldn't come out of that guy's mouth.
Right.
He's gonna answer everything with confidence, 100% confidence. So
another thing that happened over Twitter this weekend, Matt Hughes and Ben Askren went at it on Twitter, and a bunch of people were tagged in their...
What the hell,
Yeah,
man?
so this is Matt Hughes saying that basically Ben Askren talks too much. Ben Askren says, that's your opinion. Good comeback there, buddy. Matt Hughes says, very true. I got where I am by doing, not talking.
By doing, not talking.
Yeah.
He
says, very true.
Not talking.
I don't see the slash.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's insinuated.
Ben Askren says lots of...
There's no comma. Is it an insinuated comma?
Yes.
All right.
Lots of
You
ways...
ran out of characters?
Lots of ways to skin
He's
a
trying
car.
to keep him down.
I think he was trying to say skin a cat, but he said lots of ways to skin a car.
Gotta hate autocorrect.
Matt Hughes says that won't get you into the big show. And I don't know if these are backwards where it says, did a world of good for Mr. Sonnen. Dana can't only deny I'm the best for so long. Anyone can pad a record, beat a top 15 guy. This is Matt Hughes to him again. I'm not doubting your talent, though I do disagree with you. It's your fighting style.
Yeah.
So...
That's like two Canadians fighting with each other.
Yeah, so polite.
It's the most polite argument I've ever seen on Twitter.
Would you watch a Matt Hughes out of retirement against Ben Askren fight? Or would it be really boring?
It'd be well, no. You know what fight I want to see is Ben Askren and John Fitch.
Dude, I don't want to go to sleep. We already almost had that fight. I had World Series of Fighting 11.
This fight brought to you by Mancini Sleep World.
This fight brought for you by Ambien.
My sleep number.
So, a couple things come out of Fight Week. We got to meet the Ultimate Fighter 20 cast, and they're already saying that there is some heat going down on the set.
So I've heard.
Get out of here.
Rumors flying that Felice Herring already almost got kicked off the show.
You mean
in the first day?
The tough cast of women is being catty?
Is being catty.
16 women in one house?
Wow.
No way.
One of the big people that they're saying that she probably had a problem with it, and we'll see, I guess, on the show, is Heather Jo Clark. Heather Jo Clark and Heath Herring fought in Bellator 94. And
she fought Heath Herring?
No. Not Heath Herring. Felice Herring, excuse me. Felice Herring at Bellator 94.
Oh, shit, good for her.
She could, though.
There was a heated weigh-in. They did push each other back and forth quite a bit. You can see Bjorn, back when he had a job, separating them there. After the bout in which Felice Herring dominated, she basically screamed in her face, screamed in Heather Jo's face, to which Heather Jo hits her after the bell, and Herring swings back. How these people are allowed in the UFC, I'll never know, because no one ever hits a referee.
I don't...
But since this happened in Bellator, I guess it doesn't count.
No, it doesn't count. It doesn't count at all. I mean, I actually, when I was watching this GIF, I didn't realize it was Bellator. I thought it was like an outtake from the house already. I honestly did. Whatever.
Smack.
Just get out of my face.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Just get out of my face.
So, basically they're saying this season's going to be really good because none of these girls like each other. Eric Hawani had a whole bit where he was...
No girls like each other.
He was talking to all the girls from the show, and he just kept insinuating, so who don't you like here?
Well, hopefully in this tough...
Who don't you like? Who's somebody you don't want to live with in this house?
Yeah.
Like, all this nonstop to everyone, and finally they're like, Felice, I guess? Like, and he's like, yeah, that's what I've heard. He's like, and then of course he goes up to Heather Jo, and she's like, I don't like her. She's naked on Instagram all the time, which she's not naked, which is pretty damn close.
I like how you said Heather Jo,
Yeah.
and then you threw in the redneck thing to it. Man, I don't like nothing.
Right?
I don't know what she doing.
And she, and of course they asked Felice. She's like, I just don't like Heather Jo Clark because she's rude.
All right then. So are they all going to be on their own team in the house since chicks just can't get along?
No, I mean they are going to be Team Gilbert Melendez, Team Anthony Pettis. So
Good luck, guys.
yeah, I don't know how that's going to work.
Oh God.
One of the fights that did happen was Keith Barish went up against making his final UFC debut, Robert Drysdale. Robert Drysdale did win that bout, but Barish says that he tore his ACL and MCL during the bout, and one of the reasons he lost.
Of course, Drysdale didn't beat you. You beat yourself.
His knee blew out.
Yeah.
Did you watch that fight?
No, did not.
I don't know.
I'm sure I have it on my DVR somewhere.
He
But
still was able to continue fighting, so...
Yeah, I was otherwise occupied. I had to watch most of them the next day.
Yeah. So, World Series of Fighting recently had their World Series of Fighting 11 events. We can go ahead and quick do the rundown of those before we get to the news about this. Basically, one of the big fights that we're just about to talk about was Neiman Gracie went up against Dustin Hollico. He won this fight submission rear naked choke in the second round. Jake Hoon won his bout. Melvin Gillard won his debut over Galesis Cavalcante with a TKO in the second.
Should have taken it to the ground, man.
Cody Bollinger won this bout over Pablo Afonso. John Fitch, probably one of the most boring bouts ever against Dennis Hallman.
No,
unanimous
John Fitch,
decision.
boring fight, no way.
And Justin Gaethje keeps his belt against the one-armed man, Nick Newell. Knockout in the second round.
It's about goddamn time. Seriously. Seriously, I'm so sick of this shit. Stop doing it. There's some shit you just can't do. I'm done. Whatever, man.
Why are you so angry against the slot machine? Why do you hate the slot machine? That's got to be his MMA name.
The slot machine?
Yeah.
The one-arm bandit?
The one.
My thing is four
He
guys.
needs to go fucking join Def Leppard to be their replacement drummer.
4 guys out of 8 on this card missed weight, and it's too bad that Mike Dolce is gobbled up by the UFC because they need some people over there helping these guys make weight.
Damn.
There's
4
no
bouts
excuse.
went to catch weight.
There's no excuse for not making weight.
Yeah. 4 bouts went to catch weight, including Melvin Gillard's first bout.
Well, I'm,
It's no surprise with Gillard, though.
Right.
Cyborg said that she had feminine problems when she couldn't make weight.
Right.
Okay.
Maybe he had male issues.
I'm retaining water.
Because I have a wiener.
my
So-
wiener really swelled up today.
World Series of Fighter, former World Series of Fighting fighter Dustin Hollico was released from the promotion after a story revealed he had a criminal history and tattoos associated with neo-Nazis.
Oh. Say it isn't so.
He did have 2 tattoos. One of them.
Is there any? What's the proof of this, though?
Can they give you the option to fill them in?
Okay, so he did have his tattoos. He has white pride written on his biceps, iron crosses on his forearms, and Nazi double SS lightning bolt symbols on his back.
Can't hate on the white pride one if you're going to let Cain Velasquez keep his brown pride.
Right.
Just keep
No,
going.
the lightning bolts and the SS thing.
No.
Yeah, right.
No, I get that. No, I get
Just
that.
not the white pride one.
Those are definitely
Yeah.
But
racist.
when they are next to each other, the white pride with double SS tattoo,
Poor grouping.
he says he plans to remove or cover any of the tattoos that could be deemed offensive. However, they did not look at the 16 different criminal charges that he has dating back to 2005, including domestic battery, cruelty to animal, felony battery, domestic violence, domestic battery by strangulation, armed robbery.
I don't even think I would have brought up the tattoos at this point. I would have just said, you know what? It's your record.
Yeah, it's like this is the exact kind of face we don't want in this sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got that nice hit the road jack music in the back.
He is adamant,
Yeah.
though, he's not a racist because, his coach is Puerto Rican and Spanish. And like a father to him.
Oh no, it's cool. I have an
black
Asian
friend.
and a black friend.
I know a black
It's
guy.
all right. It's okay.
I don't have black guy. I know black
My
guy.
uncle's gay.
No, I'm from the Valley. I love Mexicans. It's okay.
It's the best defense ever.
So when the World Series of Fighting learned that about his background, they immediately severed ties with him. The matchmaker Ali Abdelaziz every time.
Gesundheit.
Yeah.
Not making it easy on you.
He faulted the guy who wrote the story. Let's see, where's it at? Brent Brookhouse of Bloody Elbow for saying, how come you didn't bring this to our attention sooner so we could have got him before.
They said this a bloody elbow?
Yeah.
This is so stupid.
Hey, Bloody Elbow, how come you didn't tell us before the fight happened? Now
Oh,
we
I
got to
just-
cut this guy after? Why didn't you tell us?
Kind of assumed that an employer would do a bit of a background check.
Right? Not only that, but then come to find out, Daytona News Beach found out that he was not even licensed to fight in the state of Florida where they held the fight.
That is awesome.
This guy's good.
This guy is awesome.
Right?
He passed background and didn't get a license and was still going to fight at World Series of Fighting.
Yeah.
This guy's like Leonardo DiCaprio and Catch Me If You Can.
His manager says, who is also an attorney, says, I was not aware that a fighter did not have a license, and this troubles me greatly.
Yeah. You gotta get Tom Hanks on this case, dude.
That is equivalent to, that is nice. We will look into it.
And it happened, apparently this happened due to an administrative oversight. The director of communications of the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation, basically the Athletic Commission, said that we know there are discrepancies in the process and procedures and should have taken this directly by the Florida State Boxing Commission. At this time, we don't have license on record. There is a serious internal investigation underway to figure out why. We believe this is an isolated event. The investigation will be complete in several days.
I'm coining the last two paragraphs the last time I miss a payment on a bill.
This dude, he just straight up walked into the World Series of Fighting office, like in some fight shorts when they were getting ready to do the fight.
How was that? Administrative oversight.
Administrative oversight.
Seriously
Someone
going
checked
to
the
investigate
commission,
this.
checked the trainer's license, but failed to check his license.
Yeah. It works.
So the guy who taught you how to fight, we cleared him, and so we figured he was good. You're good. Come on in.
He wouldn't keep bad company. I'm telling you right now, they just walked into the office and he was like wearing some shorts or something. And he saw all the other fighters and he just took them off. He had fight shorts on and he walked up to all of them, just stood in line and looked at one of them. And when the boss walked by, he looked at the boss and went, "Do you concur?" And he was like, "Concur? Do you concur?
Do you concur?
That's it.
Concur with what?"
I concur with what you concur.
All right.
Do you
That's it. I'm taking wraps and board shorts to the 26th.
You have to say, "Do you concur?"
I will.
Underrated movie. Go watch it. Catch Me If You Can.
Jens Pulver has finally retired again for the third time.
Wow. That little kid, man.
He just wanted to one up Hamill.
I think
old is that
Penn. I think he wanted one up Penn. He waited one day after Penn retired and be like, "And now I retire."
I was in the UFC longer than you, Ben.
Not quite.
Do they do this? I don't know if they try to regain some relevancy or like, hey, talk about me.
Yeah, somebody booked me for autograph
Hey,
signings.
I'm officially retiring. I thought you retired 8 fights ago, bro. You lost your last 4 of 6.
No, he just wanted to be fighting.
You've been fighting a Gladiator challenge that nobody cares about, dude.
That doesn't matter.
He went down and
He still fought. He was still a fighter longer than BJ Penn was.
That's what's so horrible about
Bro.
the sport is fans are just like us. As soon as somebody says something like, I'm thinking about leaving, fans are like, well, that's good because you're 4 of 6 losses. We tried to tell you to leave 2 fights ago.
and you just
That's actually a really good point. A lot of
And
other like places, whether it be sports, entertainment, or anything like that, so someone's like, I'm thinking about retiring. No, we don't want you to go.
Yeah,
But this is
please
like,
don't go.
You're still here?
What?
Yeah.
Who asked you to fight? What do you mean retired? Do you
Yeah.
have a fight plan?
Yeah.
No, you don't. So you don't fight.
Right? Hey, you know what? And that's a good thing too. That because you never hear like a football team play.
Yeah.
Somebody owns a football team. He's like, oh, I've gone to my running back. I've begged him to retire.
Yeah.
You know. But we've heard multiple times where Dan's like, after
Bro.
this fight, I'm gonna have to sit down and tell this guy. You know what I mean?
You don't need to do
They
anymore.
told Chuck Liddell he's not fighting anymore.
Yeah. Chuck Liddell was like, I was fighting somebody this morning.
If you don't leave the octagon, you're gonna be in a rubber room. Do you understand? Do you
They
understand?
just gave him a rubber octagon. You're fighting. Go in there.
Ding ding. Every once in a while, click the stick so he thinks he got 10 seconds to go.
Sit down, sweet.
Oh, okay.
It's a big white octagon with rubber walls. His alarm clock, he just gets up and starts swinging. His goes off.
Wrestling rhinos, throwing batteries.
Yeah, stopping cars midair.
Yeah.
He thinks all that shit's real, dude. That's crazy.
So for the second time this year, UFC 176.
I'm surprised we didn't lead off with this.
No, it's middle story. We
Yeah.
lead off with the other stuff. This just happened. UFC 176 was supposed to go down August 2nd. Has been postponed. Not canceled. Postponed.
No.
According to the UFC. Aldo versus Mendez is not going to happen. We broke the story that Aldo pulled out of his fight last week.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't be able to. We didn't know what was going to happen. Well, now they're going to postpone the entire
I
event.
don't understand.
All of the fights have been shifted.
Yeah,
So there is a conspiracy theory, though,
of course.
that I saw on Middle Easy that I agree with.
Oh,
Someone
all right.
on YouTube found this. It's because UFC 176 already happened. Are you ready for this?
Oh, God.
Did you watch Here Comes the Boom? Because the bout that he got in the UFC was UFC 176.
Oh, all right.
It was supposed to be a future event. It already happened. It's been filmed. Kevin James won his fight. UFC 176 is over. They can't have another one.
Technically, you're correct.
Technically, we're correct. Tickets for UFC 177, that is going to be July 18th.
Goes on sale next week.
Goes on sale next week.
So why doesn't 177 become 176? That's what a couple people are asking me. They're like, well, why do they call it a cancel or postponement? Isn't it?
Because they've already got
it's
the
the next
I was gonna
one.
say the exact same
They've
thing.
already got posters out. They don't want to have to redo everything.
The media kits are out.
They should
man.
just send the sticker. You put it over.
Yeah, I've seen that happen before.
Like the calendars. Remember they put the address wrong on the calendars?
Just send a big sticker out.
Yeah, just a big sticker. Every page. There you go.
So if you bought tickets to this down in LA at Staples Center, you can get a refund.
Write a 7 on it and you can get into 177. Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
We got that from a horrible source.
According to Dennis's source,
Yeah.
you can just put
lies,
a 7.
Who lies all the time.
There was a podcast that said, "Don't listen to this." Our advice is terrible.
But just write a 7 on it.
Lorenzo recently came out on Fox Sports 1 and said that the postponement could possibly make the fight happen October 27th. They have Rio.
But are they still going to call it 176?
No, I don't think so. They'll just rename it
They should still call it 176.
Red 76 Redux or something like.
And then start
It's got
counting
a
backwards.
Yeah,
176 and it's got asterisks on both sides of it.
yeah, or 176 and just
Because it was surrounded.
I honestly think they should start counting backwards to get to 176 and then go back down. What the hell's going on?
I don't know what's going on.
What happens when they get to 1?
Maybe they just start at 671. Like it would just be like you just.
So confused.
He said that they do have a date scheduled in Rio de Janeiro, October 27th. It's possible they may move the Aldo Mendez fight to that card, especially if they could possibly get a soccer stadium, making it one of the biggest fights ever.
All right.
But they don't know yet. Dana White said that Aldo had a neck injury that he recovers from every 45 days. He gets like injured all the time. It only takes him 45 days to recover, and then he's fine. So they just got to wait 45 days for him to recover, and then they'll just cram that fight in there somewhere.
Whatever. Wait, he's got like a slip disc just pops out every once in a while?
Apparently.
All right.
Poor Mousasi found out about this on Twitter, and he immediately tweeted, "How do you feel about being rescheduled? Any word on what fight your card will be moved to?" And he says, 6 weeks of training for nothing. That's how I feel.
He found out on Twitter?
Yeah, he was supposed to fight on this card against Jacare. And he
Wow.
found out on Twitter.
Wow.
But they were added later too.
Come to find out, his manager says, it's kind of our fault. They reached out to us before the media was even aware because of the time change. We didn't get the information to him until after he found out on Twitter.
They were looking at him train through a window, and they're like, "Has anybody told him yet? No. Let him
go
finish
tell
it. Let him finish his set."
Yeah, because he was training in Holland, and of course, obviously, the news was coming from Vegas.
They were drawing straws.
Yeah, the news happened. So we will get to see that, though. That fight has now been moved to September 5th, UFC Fight Night 50 in Connecticut.
Good.
We will get to see the Jacare Mousasi rematch that people have been waiting for since Dream.
I'm excited.
If you remember that first fight, Jacare got knocked the fuck out from a brutal upkick.
Which you can't do in the UFC like that.
Yeah, you can.
You can do that?
You can upkick. You just can't upkick if the guy's has his knee down.
His kne's down right there.
No, his knee is not down. His knee is not down.
Now
sir.
it is down.
Now it's down when he's unconscious.
I'm tired. I'm just making shit up at this
And out. He's asleep on Musasi's chest. He's holding him like a baby.
I'm jealous of him right now. I'll be asleep with Musasi's chest. I'm that tired.
I don't want to know that.
Wow.
On that same card,
Nice pillow.
same card, Alistair Overeem will making his his return going up against Ben Rothwell. I actually like that fight.
Big Ben, yeah. That'll be fun.
It's a good fight.
Ben Rothwell needs to fire that right high kick from hell more, though.
Yes.
He hasn't done it a lot since IFL. Kind
Yeah.
of a bummer.
Who do you got in that fight right off the bat?
Rothwell.
Rothwell over Overeem?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I mean...
Overeem's at Jackson's now, man. He might actually have a game plan.
Doesn't matter. He's got a glass jaw.
He's not vacationing in Thailand anymore.
We've seen it. They pushed that button. He completely reset it. He's all.
Yeah, but there was multiple button pushes on that. I mean, that was Bigfoot hitting him like 8 times in the face, and he's like, "Why are you stop it, dude? I'm gonna go unconscious. Stop.
If you keep that up, I will fall asleep.
Give you 6 seconds to stop it.
I'm gonna.
I would actually take Overeem in that one.
Yeah.
All right.
Only because Big Ben's hands aren't as strong as like Bigfoot Silva's or anything like that. But he's got great hands.
Yeah, he's got good hands.
But his feet are dangerous. He doesn't
Yes.
let him go enough.
So after his fight on The Ultimate Fighter finale, where he beats BJ Penn into permanent retirement, Frankie Edgar called out Cub Swanson, saying that Cub Swanson is now number 2. He's number 3. He wants that fight. Do you think Cub Swanson should get the next fight after Jose Aldo, like he should wait and get the Aldo Mendez winner that may happen later in October, or do you think an Edgar Swanson fight makes sense?
I would be down for an Edgar Swanson fight.
Who do you think would take that fight?
Damn, that's a tough call.
Cub.
You thinking Cub, really?
Dude. He's on it, dude. He's on
He
a
is
tear.
on a tear.
He's on a tear.
but like look
at Frankie Edgar, 2-time former champion.
against BJ Penn.
Fuck, that wasn't he didn't fight BJ Penn.
He didn't fight BJ
I don't
Penn.
I don't know if we're going to talk about that, but
We
that
will.
whole
He fought
the way
the
he
corpse
stood up on his
slash
toes
zombie
and I don't know what the hell was
puppet
going
of
on
BJ
there.
Penn, former shell
I
of
get
a
what you're
man.
saying, but
was
what I'm-
horrible.
The first time was pretty razor thin against BJ when he took his title. The
No,
second
I
time,
understand.
he definitely beat BJ Penn.
all I was gonna say is like you're calling him two-time former champion, and like everybody's all on the Frankie Edgar fucking wagon again.
Yeah.
But it's like
Beat Gray Maynard.
Here's the thing: BJ Penn is going to go down in the Hall of Fame is one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Yes.
Oh, no doubt.
Fighting in multiple weight classes,
Yeah.
never turning down a
4.
fight. The guy
Yeah.
had some of the
5.
best takedown defense ever. Amazing jiu-jitsu, the prodigy for a reason. This guy has a resume a mile long.
He built the light heavyweight, or excuse me,
Right.
the lightweight division.
Exactly, and he's beat champions. He's beat Matt Hughes. He fought GSP. He has a great resume.
Pretty much
of
retired
victories.
Sean Shirk.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much retired Sean Shirk, who was a beast at that point in time.
Right.
Had the belt, was killing everybody. Frankie Edgar beat BJ Penn.
And Gray Maynard.
That doesn't count.
But if we look at Frankie Edgar's record, it does count because I think like 3 of his last 6 fights are Gray Maynard.
Like Frankie Edgar's BJ Penn's claim to fame is that everything. The guy did everything. Frankie Edgar's claim to fame is that he had BJ's number.
So there we go. He beat BJ twice. He beat Gray Maynard, draw and win, and then Benson Henderson twice. So he's fought 3 guys, and then he lost to Jose Aldo, and he beat Charles over there. Yeah, and then BJ Penn again.
That's what I'm saying. He's going down. His big win. His big thing about Frankie Edgar is that he had BJ Penn's number. That's it. That is it. Literally about the guy. I don't hate him. I don't begrudge him anything. The guy's had more UFC gold than I'll ever have in my life.
Right.
But at the same time, when you really break it down, the two, it's like everybody on the Frankie Edgar like wagon. is
Hype
like,
train, yeah.
Why? He's gonna get his ass
good.
kicked again. I don't think he's good. That's what I'm
I
saying.
think he's good.
I don't think he's that good.
I think he will beat Cub Swanson.
I think he's overrated because he beat BJ Penn 3 times. But aside from
Had
that,
nothing to do with this fight against Gray Maynard, where it was pretty much a war between the two of them, other than the last one where he knocked him the fuck out.
it was a good fight.
Right.
Against somebody who's a mediocre fighter. Gray Maynard, who made a career out of... I'm not trying to do MMA math here either. 'Cause
Right.
we all know that doesn't
Right.
work.
I got you.
But Gray Maynard is a guy who made a name for himself by laying on people constantly.
True.
The reason he was able to be beaten is because Frankie Edgar finally figured out if I make this guy stand up, I'm going to kick his ass.
Push the fight, yeah.
But he was always too big for his weight class and just laid on people to victory.
And he had heavy hands. I'll give Gray Maynard had some heavy hands.
When he stood up...
He rocked Frankie a couple times.
When he stood up,
Yeah.
yeah. But he was mostly a wet blanket when he got in the cage. I think the Frankie Edgar freight train is just way overrated at this point in time. He needs to beat somebody like
Cub Swanson, and then you're
before
gonna
he can
believe?
move up. I'm not saying I'm going to believe. I'm just saying that he doesn't I think he's picking a good fight here.
Is it because he's from Jersey?
I think it's because he didn't do well against Benson.
Is it because he's from Jersey?
Maybe a little bit.
All right. That's all I needed to know.
Maybe a little bit. Jersey. I thought he was overrated back when I liked Jersey. So
When I found out he was from Jersey.
Let alone to even bring up Swanson's tackle box of tools, man. I mean, the guy comes at you from every angle.
yeah.
He has looked a lot better.
Yeah.
A lot better. Kat Zagano looking to make her return. UFC 178 going up against Amanda Nunes. I like this fight. I think that's a good return fight for her.
Perfect tune-up fight.
If she wins this, do you think she immediately gets a shot at Ronda?
Who else is going to get a shot at Ronda?
See, I was confused when you'd put this question out somewhere. I seen it, and I
On
thought
our
that
Facebook. We were talking about basically who's next for Ronda. I mean, really.
Right, I didn't know
the next big story about who they're talking about giving an immediate title shot to. But
Are they really talking about? Oh my god!
there's rumors. Dana White has said no. We'll get that. So it was like, who's next? Who's next? And Miesha Tate's ranked number 2. She's been beaten twice. And I looked at the list of everybody that Ronda's beaten, and you're in the top 10 of the women's division. There's only like 2 fighters she hasn't actually fought.
Right.
Where she hasn't, if it hasn't been in Strikeforce, it wasn't necessarily in the UFC. She has beat a lot of these people in, like I said, Sarah Kaufman, number 5. She already beat her.
Right.
So that would be a good tune-up fight for some of these girls coming in. Or making their returns.
No, I mean, I don't see why Kat Zingano was supposed to fight her before anyway.
That's the only one, yeah. It's the only one that she hasn't fought yet.
So if she does win, then they can build that up. I mean, Ronda Rousey's out for a bit anyway with a broken hand.
Yep.
So gives time to set that up.
Yep, and having knee surgery.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
John Dodson is out of his flyweight bout that he was allegedly going to have. He was supposed to get a shot against Demetrius Johnson. However, he has an ACL injury, and he will be out for possibly a full year.
Crazy.
6 to 8 months before he can even start going back to the gym.
Oh, that sucks. That's got to be hell for somebody like John Dodson.
Yeah.
So he's having a complete replacement then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More news. Ali Bagatinov, who just went up against Demetrius Johnson at UFC 174, failed his drug test.
I don't think they helped him. I think they actually slowed him down.
Slowed him down a little bit.
Why are you punching me so fast?
He tested positive for EPO.
It's like tweakers who think they're moving really quick and they're not.
And now he has his license suspended in British Columbia for a year.
Oh, damn.
So, like I said, I guess drugs don't help you win against the Mighty Mouse.
No.
Like,
That's what's just funny to me, though, is these guys all taking drugs and they all think they found a way to get through it and they all get popped eventually.
yeah.
Well, yeah, like somebody had put on there too that they're like, well, the Russians don't consider that an EPO, and it's like it doesn't matter what you.
Doesn't matter what you think, bro.
Hey, bro, I tested myself with Legos. We're okay.
I'm clean. My test says I'm clean.
Yeah.
Don't take your test.
It's only 9mm. Don't consider it
Yeah.
gun.
I added 3 ounces of Windex. It still stayed blue. We're good.
So we had a big announcement about Fight Pass yesterday. The entire Invicta library is now available on Fight Pass.
That's cool.
That's
really
pretty
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
They are also going to hold their first event on Fight Pass September 6th
Oh, for Invicta?
for Invicta,
Nice.
which is very cool. And they are saying that Chris Cyborg, what is it? Justino. I always say Santos still. Will make her 135-pound debut in December on Fight Pass.
Okay, even money she makes weight or not?
Ooh.
She's gonna make weight.
I say no.
You don't think so?
No.
I think there's too much. There's too much riding on it.
I say she comes in at 140. I don't think she'll be close.
Don't think she's going to make it?
Nope.
They're also saying that she... They don't have an opponent announced yet, but she's going to make her debut at 135.
Yeah, I'm saying she comes
It
in at
doesn't matter.
140.
It's gonna be massive carnage. Because they're gonna, you know what I mean? Who are you gonna put up against at first? You don't want to put anybody in your top 10 to risk them.
You should, because if you want to make a case that she should go against Ronda, you got to put somebody in the top 10.
Yeah, you can never just beat a no-name.
And everyone's going to be
Really?
like, who cares?
I mean, this is her first fight in.
doesn't matter.
She's going to go up against Ronda Rousey on Invicta.
And when's her last mixed martial arts fight? Because I know she just lost a kickboxing fight, right?
Her Muay Thai fight.
The Muay Thai fight, and the fight before that was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right?
Yeah. Who did she fight? She beat whoever she fought. Her first Invicta fight, she won.
I can't even remember, man.
I don't know.
Because I know that she went away from MMA itself.
Your internet's broken.
Yep.
Oh, no.
You went down.
Yeah, he did. Like a prom date.
Way to go. Way to go.
Like a cracker in Compton.
So, replacing the man, the mouth, the legend, Chael Sonnen, Chris Lytle is joining the Fox analyst team.
That's an interesting choice there, Copper. We'll see how it plays out.
I don't see Chris Lytle as much of a talker.
No.
He's very good. Well, I mean, he is in politics. Remember, didn't he run for like governor or something like that?
Mayor.
Senator.
Maybe.
No, he ran like
Senator?
Senate or something?
I don't remember.
Yeah, and like wherever he's from,
Chris
Iowa.
Lytle's always been a cool guy. I mean, anybody you replace Chael Sonnen with is not going to be well received. That's what's difficult.
He does know the fight game pretty well,
Yeah.
and he was always a good fighter. Like he was always blue collar, always
lights out ladder.
Loved to throw. We don't know if this is a trial one, a one-time event, permanent. We just know for the next one on Fox, the Cerrone versus Miller, which is going to be this next upcoming Wednesday, next Wednesday, he's going to be an analyst.
Well, hopefully you can make it work. I just think it's one of those things where it's like people who love Chael Sonnen are going to instantly hate this guy no matter what.
Because he doesn't sound like Chael Sonnen.
Yeah.
So then we have some of the biggest news, obviously, was that the UFC has signed undefeated bantamweight fighter Holly Holm. Big news.
Why is it such big news?
Why?
Yeah.
She's a badass.
She's a badass. She is 6-0 in MMA.
Okay.
She is also a former kickboxer with multiple titles. And they're saying that she's got She's finished all of her fights.
Can she defend a chokehold face punch?
No.
And they're saying that she could be the one to take Ronda's title.
Nobody's going to take Ronda's title.
She trains at Jackson's. She's training a lot with John Jones. She's training a lot on the ground with these guys down in Jackson's camp, which we know Jackson's camp is a good camp.
The only way she's going to take Ronda's title is if Ronda forgets it somewhere.
And they're saying she is hands
and then she takes
down the best striker in women's MMA.
All right.
Even over Christine Cyborg Justino.
I want to see Cyborg at 135 because I think that she's probably still the only one who has a chance.
They said immediately, though, she will have a non-title fight before giving her a title fight. This is from Dana White. Rumors were swirling that they were going to immediately dump her into a title shot because, again, who's fucking left?
Right.
But again, I think Holly Holm needs to have. Again, I think a Sarah Kaufman fight would be good. She's not booked right now.
Sarah Kaufman would be a fantastic fight. I think that we didn't see enough of what Alexis Davis can do. So if there's enough time to get Alexis Davis back, like I don't know how long she's suspended for, and I don't know how soon they want Holly Holm to fight. But I really think Alexis Davis needs a fair shot against somebody else. We've seen what
Alexis
happened
Davis
with
was doing great until she fought. until he
said go.
She didn't look great.
Her fight career. Okay, her fight career was going great until she ran into Ronda Rousey.
But what I'm saying is, you look at Barista Boy, who got his ass smashed by Daniel Cormier.
And now he's going to have a second fight, by the way.
I thought he already had it.
He did. Oh, a third fight. We're going to see that live.
Yeah.
No, but
he's on the card. We're going to go see.
He had a second fight.
Is he really?
Yeah.
So he had no time to show what he could actually do because he got smashed by Daniel Cormier so quick. Same thing happened to Alexis Davis. Look, I said last week that I didn't think
she had fights in the UFC before her fight with Ronda Rousey.
In the UFC?
Yeah.
This was her first one in the UFC.
No. That was her third fight in the UFC.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, she never did anything fun.
Just blew the shit out of everything you had to say.
Yep.
I can't defend you.
I can't help you. I can't help you.
Nope, can't defend you.
Sorry, Davis. All right, so let's talk about UFC 175. Did you get to watch it?
Yeah, no, I did.
All right. You got to watch it here? You guys were at Matt's house watching it?
No, I was in SoCal.
Oh,
He was
you were
a
in
Trying,
Disneyland.
yeah.
All right.
He was wrestling Mickey.
Sweet. This was a pretty good, in my opinion, overall fight card. Even though some of the fights did go to decision, they were at least entertaining fights. You had Kevin Casey knocking out Bubba Bush, TKO.
Yeah, I saw that. That was Kevin Casey. Looked brutal, man. He looked good.
We got Luke
I can only
Zachovich.
hope that Spencer Pratt's not managing him anymore. Because as long as he's not involved with Spencer Pratt, I might be able to root for him. But then again, he's also the guy who gave himself a black belt.
Spencer Pratt or Kevin Casey?
Kevin Casey. Self-appointed
20th degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black
Rob
belt.
Font knocked out George Roop first round.
Wow.
That was pretty brutal.
Poor Roop.
Yeah.
The guy just can't find a hold. He's good and he's bad. He's good and he's bad.
Bruno Santos over Chris Camozzi, split decision.
Close fight.
Kenny Robertson over Idemir Alcantara.
I would have thought Alcantara would have done better in that fight.
Uriah Faber over Alex Bruce Leroy Caceres. Submission, third round, minute 03.
Great fight.
I was cracking up because there were these two girls at the bar I work at watching this while I was watching it. And girls who watch MMA are cute. Girls who think they know about MMA while they watch it are not cute. But girls who know about MMA and watch MMA are hot. That's what I found out. Because they're like, oh, he should just run right through him. Why is he taking so long? I don't even understand what's going on right now. Why is Uriah Faber not winning? Why is he waiting to the third round? What is going on?
Was their favorite fighter Joan St. Pierre?
It wasn't John St. Pierre. That was your aunt or cousin.
My cousin.
Cousin's favorite fighter is John St. Pierre.
I like John St. Pierre too. He's a lot of fun.
And Royce Gracie, pronounced with the R.
Some JSP. I think JSP.
I wanted to ask her who was a better fighter, Royce Gracie or John St. Pierre, but
she probably would have said, well, that one time I saw them fight.
Yeah.
It was the same time that guy died in the ring in the UFC.
Russell Doan taking out Marcus Brimage, split decision. I was all right with this
I
decision.
got a question real quick before we move on past Uriah Faber, though.
Uh-huh.
We talked about this in my house.
Yep.
Honest question.
Yep.
Uriah Faber has never lost a non-title fight.
Yep.
Loses his last, 6 title tries?
Yeah, 6 to 7.
Hanan Barao is no longer the champ.
Yep.
Yeah, Hanan Barao beat Uriah Faber twice when it was for the belt.
You think he could beat him?
That's the question. Now that Hanan Barao doesn't have a belt, doesn't have the strap, can Uriah Faber beat him?
We'll never know because Henan Barao is going to fight TJ Dillashaw for the belt. Unless he loses again.
I'm asking for speculation.
And yes, at that point, I think Uriah Faber has to fight another loss to Hanan Barao before he can fight TJ, even if TJ says, yes, I'll fight you.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if he just all of a sudden oh, Hanan Barao doesn't have a belt and just runs through him?
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing.
That's the conspiracy.
He has stage fright?
He's got
title fright.
He's scared of the belt.
He's scared of the UFC, but I think it's because he actually held the UFC belt before he was supposed to. Literally held onto it. You're not supposed to touch the belt if you're not champion. It's like It's voodoo.
It's like taking the sand from the black sand from Maui or something.
Yeah, it's voodoo. You can't do that.
Don't do it.
If it's not your belt, you're not allowed to hold it.
Don't do it.
If you're a fighter.
Yeah.
Like, I could hold a belt because I'm never going to earn
You're
one.
never gonna get it.
I'm never going to have an
I held a
opportunity.
UFC championship
You're
belt.
undefeated, though. You can touch whatever you want.
That's true.
I held
That's
the
actually a valid
UFC
point.
championship belt. I have pictures of it.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah.
You got closer to it than I did. I'm just undefeated, and I have a blue belt in jiu-jitsu that I never
That you
got.
gave yourself like
Yeah.
Kevin Casey?
It's an honorary one.
Then we had your man Uriah Hall going up against Thiago Santos, kicking it with the dead foot. Man, I like how he said, I just had to dig down deep and I'd be like, you hit like a bitch, Joe. They asked him how he got through, and he's like, my mom always told me, sometimes you get knocked down, you have to just get up, pull yourself up, and be like, you hit like a bitch. That's what I did. I just said, you hit like a bitch.
You have to take that little piece of toe you got left on the end of your bone. You got to tuck it back on your bone, and you got to get back in and fight it.
I don't understand why Thiago wasn't foot stomping him.
Yeah.
We were all yelling for foot stomps.
Are we gonna get that picture on the site?
I can put that picture on the site.
Especially, can we the X-ray and the little chunk of toe
Joe
thing?
off to the side.
Oh,
Again, I still like that his corner was able to convince the doctor. No,
No,
it's
it
normally
always
like
looks
that.
no, it's okay. It's a bone cozy.
It's always been like
It's a
that.
bone cozy. Don't worry about it. I know it looks like a toe, but it's a bone cozy.
It's all good.
Ronda Rousey, your champ, going up against Alexis Davis. This fight took 16 seconds.
This wasn't even a fight.
Somebody sent this fight to me as a GIF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They showed it live 5 times. That's not a lie. I watched the pay-per-view 5
This
times.
pay-per-view was over at 8:30.
Yeah, they were able to show her fight 5 times in real speed before moving on to the next fight.
Yeah, no, and then between that and Stephen Struve passing out backstage,
Yeah.
this shit was over at 8:30.
Yeah.
It blew me away.
I mean, just the hip toss to immediate head and arm trap, and then just unleashed a barrage of punches.
I think she was knocked out going into the hip toss.
Yeah,
It was pretty close.
she was disoriented.
She was disoriented.
She was kind of like, brrr.
What
hip
happened?
toss.
Bam,
Yeah.
bam, bam.
and even the throw.
yeah.
When she hit the ground, you could see that took it out of her.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "Oh wait, is that a fist?"
you see her
And
arms
then it
coming
hit
up,
me.
and then
Yeah.
you see her arms flail back.
Like she does the whole thing where she has her arms clamped together.
Yeah, and then they just drop.
But everybody was talking about the one that was underneath Ronda Rousey's
Yeah.
head. But from the camera angle, you actually see the other arm drop first.
Yeah.
Like I don't even think she remembers anything past the
No.
bell ringing to fight.
Again, she got in a fight with the ref that took longer than the fight with Ronda
she
Rousey.
fought, and then I think a medical examiner tried to wrestle him.
Yeah.
She wrestled everybody that came in contact with her the next
the
5
fight
to
is
6
over.
seconds. Yeah.
The fight is over. The
So
fight is over.
She tried to wear Ronda Rousey like she was trying to be her seatbelt. Ronda Rousey had to unbuckle her hand.
Yeah,
from
that
her
was
waist.
hilarious, and just walked away and kind of laughed like,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, that was your great white hype, huh? Yeah, good
Wow.
job.
Good job, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't want to say it last week because I didn't remember exactly what was said, but I was told by somebody else, like real cool person, probably not gonna.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, probably
Not going to happen. So immediately afterwards, Joe Rogan gets a little birdie in his ear, the production truck, and says, the truck just asked me to ask you if you want to fight August 2nd. Dana White flipped his fucking lid.
Yeah.
He was pissed.
There he was.
Rhonda gathered her thoughts, says, I'm scheduled for knee surgery. I got to talk to my coaches. If they say it's cool, I'm cool, I'll do it. Immediately, Dana White says, I wasn't upset afterwards. Right then, he's like, no, that's not going to fucking happen. Don't worry about it. And looked at Joe Rogan like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard you say, or ever heard or something.
Yeah.
Like we had a guy at our house that could read lips, and he's like,
Yeah.
he's saying that's the dumbest fucking thing, and then
Yeah.
after that he couldn't tell what he said.
Yeah, because he turned. So come to find out, he says, I wasn't upset at Joe Rogan because it was the truck telling him to ask, but that wasn't true. That was somebody's mistake back there. That was the most biggest idiotic move in history of our production team.
And that guy's dead now.
Yeah. He said, he goes, I don't know who fucking made that call. Me or Lorenzo are the only ones that get to make that call.
They know that whole conversation in the back is recorded.
And he says,
All tracks to all production
and
are recorded.
they said that literally one of the guys in the back was like, I got an idea. Why don't you just ask her? I mean, right? Dana will be cool with this.
That's all. Joe, ask her if she wants to fight in the next fight.
Was some jackass who wanted to make a name for himself and move up. Like, oh, I bet if I throw this question out there. I'll make
And
a
literally,
name for
Dana at
myself.
the press conference like, who's that guy fucking think he is? A matchmaker? That guy's a fucking idiot.
What if it was just a fan that hacked into their headsets?
That'd be
He's
awesome.
all, Joe, ask her if she wants to be at the next fight.
Some guy's chirping on his Nextel.
So one of the reasons why this fight can't happen August 2nd, obviously besides UFC 176 being postponed or technically already happening in a movie, is that Ronda
If you
Rousey...
believe in the space-time continuum.
It's a flat circle, man.
Time is a flat circle.
Ronda Rousey had a cyst built up on her knuckle. She's had it in the last 2 fights she's fought. She just keeps letting it heal. In the first punch, it burst.
Gross.
She had to have 9 stitches. You can see that lovely little picture there. 9 stitches after the fight because the cyst burst. She's like, hey, at least cyst is gone now. And I can let it heal properly.
She's got a pleasant outlook on life.
She also...
millions of dollars do that to you.
She also is going to have routine knee surgery that she has every couple years. And so won't be able to fight. She is, though, hoping still to fight on the New Year's card. Chris Weidman also said he'd like to fight on the New Year's card. And then they both said we should continue to fight together because every time we're on a card together, we get to keep our belts. Which is true.
Technically, every time Ronda Rousey fights, she gets to keep her belt, regardless of who else is on that card.
And every time she fights, her worth doubles.
Yes.
She's under contract. She's getting more money.
So again, who's next for Ronda Rousey?
Well, outside of MMA, Gabby. We got that. We gotta get that fight out of the way.
Does Miesha Tate? I mean, I know she's got a fight coming up. Does she get another?
No, she doesn't.
No,
not
for a while.
No, especially if we're talking December. Can they get Holly Holm a fight by then?
Possibly.
And if Holly Holm, then
wins, then that one.
Yeah, then that one. Or Kat Zingano wins her next fight, then Kat Zingano gets the shot. Those are the only 2 that I see left. Yeah, there's a couple logical moves. Then also after December though, we have if Cyborg is able to make her weight, then rock and roll. Let's do it.
Right.
Yeah, I see Holly Holm devastating people, and I see Cyborg devastating people, and then Ronda's going to devastate a couple more people, and then all 3 of those they're going to have to meet at some point.
Are you saying 3-way?
Oh, you know what? It ain't gay if it's 3-way.
Then you had your main event, Chris Weidman taking on Lyoto Machida in a unanimous decision.
Hats off to Machida for the last 2 rounds, though, man.
He says up until literally the last bell, he was trying to knock out Chris Weidman and believed he could knock out Chris Weidman.
He was sure as shit trying.
Those first 3, though, he did not look so good.
No, but 2 and 3,
4 and 5 were definitely Machida.
Blew me away, dude.
Although I will give it to Weidman at the end there, taking the shots and being like, come on, is that it? That's all you got left?
Yeah.
Cool, I'm still here, bro, and I'm winning this belt.
Yeah, Machida still looked really good.
And he went into proverbial prevent defense.
Yeah.
I mean, he stopped the whole offensive set.
I think they said in the 4th, he even said, he goes, I think his corner saying, all right, you coasted that last round, which he needs to finish you now. So
right.
You need to be on the defense.
Right.
Makes complete sense.
Yeah.
You dominate the first 3 rounds, you got to make him come and get you.
Yep.
And if you can shut him down, then you ain't got to worry about nothing.
How do you feel Chris Weidman looked, though? Do you think he proves that he's a champion? It wasn't just a fluke with Anderson's leg and a fluke with the knockout?
He even said that he had a shitty training camp and wasn't happy with his performance.
But how do you feel he looked?
Sluggish.
Yeah?
Really?
By the 4th, he definitely looked sluggish.
I'm not saying that
First 3, he looked pretty damn good, especially that first round.
I'm not saying he looked bad. I just I didn't really follow Weidman at all until he became the champ. You know
I liked the first 2 to 3 rounds where he took Machida out of his comfort zone and made Machida fight on the outside instead of the inside.
Yeah.
He would not give Machida the space he needed to fight that long-range, point-scoring kind of fight. He brought it to him and kept him on the outside, so Machida constantly... He couldn't set. He couldn't get comfortable.
I wish we could just talk to the judges. I understand a 48-47. I would just like to know why.
Yeah.
What do you see that these other two people don't?
He gave Lyoto the last one.
Okay.
That's all it was. I mean, Lyoto, you could give it to him just because Lyoto seemed like he had control that round, the most of it.
Right. Until the end, yeah.
So you could still give it to him based on that. You know, I can understand that. I mean, I thought that I was really impressed with Lyoto in those last 2 rounds, especially coming back from an ass whooping in the first 3.
Yeah.
So good for him.
And he didn't get to fight his style of,
Definitely did not get to fight his style.
He couldn't fight his style of fight.
Weidman, I'm not taking anything away from Weidman. The guy's got the belt for a reason.
Oh, you can't. I mean, he backed up because he really didn't trash talk as much this time. Mm-mm. Not as much as he has in prior fights. But I think he had a lot of respect for Machida too.
Yeah, I think really the only one he really felt he had to kind of trash talk was after he won the belt when he came back to fight Anderson. He needed to because everyone was doubting him. Oh, it's fluke. Motherfucker, I trained.
Right.
I trained to knock him out. I knocked him out because he was playing around, and I knocked him out because I knew I could catch him.
Yeah.
So I think he was allowed a little bit of trash talk in that second one with Anderson.
And then in that aspect, I get it to Machida too. He stayed away from getting knocked out.
Yeah. For sure. And he got hit pretty hard a couple times, man.
Yeah, they both definitely they got some chins, that's for sure, in that fight.
Yep.
So then you had on Sunday, did you get to watch this, the Ultimate Fighter finale? This was on free TV.
Again, I watched it the next day, but I watched it.
All right, you watched it. That's cool. Dustin Ortiz making. I thought that was a really great fight. That was on the main card. That's against Justin Scoggins. I could definitely see it could have gone either way. I'm glad it was a split decision. I don't know if Ortiz. I don't know. Do you feel Ortiz warranted the decision, even though being split?
I remember watching it, going, I don't even know who to give this fight.
Right. I think that's really. I couldn't see it honestly.
So it's one of those things where it's like when they get a split, you're like,
okay,
yeah,
sure. They must have done something that I didn't see.
Yeah, exactly.
Derek Lewis, man, knocking out Guto Innocente.
Quick.
This guy is going to make a name for himself, I think, in heavyweight. I mean, we say that by a lot of guys that come in, but he's looking pretty good.
Mm-hmm. It was a good night for the tough guys, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I would say it was a good night for guerrilla training, because there was a big difference between guys who trained in a gym under certain aspects of training, and then the three winners trained out in the country. Lifting up tires.
I mean, there's
bench pressing cars.
All first round knockouts.
Eddie Gordon becoming your middleweight Ultimate Fighter over Diego Lima.
Poor Diego Lima, man. I really thought he was going to win that fight too.
Beat down, man.
Yeah, but Gordon, and I know we're going to get to Anderson. Both of them hungry.
Corey Anderson again over Matt Van Buren. TKO in the first. All both those fights win a minute.
Like Derek Lewis is like, I got a first round knockout, and Gordon's like, yeah, but I got mine in the minute mark.
Yeah,
and then Corey's like, I got mine at 101.
Yeah. And I love Dana White came out to both the guys who are on the Ultimate Fighter, both Corey Anderson and Eddie Gordon, is like, where the fuck were you during the season?
That's
where
Twitter,
was the aggression?
Hey, Twitter, Facebook, that's where everybody was like, if this could happen while Tough was happening.
He's like, you know why people are watching you right now? Because Frankie and Edgar and BJ Penn are about to fight, because no one gives a shit about your season. Yeah, because you guys didn't bring it during the season. You're lucky anybody is seeing your fight right now.
Right. They played it safe during the season. They wanted to advance. They were playing the long game.
I can't remember which fighter it was. I don't remember if it was Gordon or Anderson, but when he's like, "Oh, I really didn't get to show my wrestling," and literally Daniel Cormier's all, "Man, that's bullshit." He's like, "How else did you get all them decisions on the show?" You know, you used your wrestling.
That's awesome. And then, of course, the main event of the night, Frankie Edgar retires BJ Penn.
Oh, this was hard to watch.
It was hard to watch.
Incredible. It's like watching your dad get beat up.
Yeah, BJ Penn fought stupid.
I don't
straight
get
up
the
and
style.
down.
What was that?
He said, literally one of his coaches came out and was like, we don't know what happened. He had this in his mind that he was going to be able to strike harder and use a more rangy defense by standing straight up and down. We told him no. But when BJ has something in his mind,
he couldn't bounce. He couldn't recover.
And he said, literally, BJ said it was because it would keep him from getting tired. When he sits down on his punches and he throws hard and he's more like a boxer like he used to be, he was always out of breath and he was always tired by, whatever round.
It sucks when you're winning.
And so he decided that standing straight up and down would make him fight not as tired, and it just looked horrible. He cried during the press conference. He definitely said he's retired. Dana White said, look, you have nothing left to prove, dude. You built the lightweight division. You fought. You're the only one of two guys to hold belts in two different weight classes. You're BJ Penn. You own the UFC gym / BJ Penn in Hawaii. The UFC gym is a UFC BJ Penn gym. They don't have any other fighter-affiliated gyms anywhere.
Right.
And they're like, it's not like he's over there training. Dana White literally walks around the gym, says hi to everybody, kisses babies, and collects a check. BJ's doing just fine.
Yeah, no, of course he's doing just fine. That's what confused me about this whole fight was like when the last time Frankie Edgar kicked his ass and he was like, I don't do this anymore. I don't want my baby girl watching me get beat up anymore. He
says he begged Dana White to let him fight one more time. He was watching fights on TV and he goes, I think I have it. I think I can.
I got it figured out. The worst game plan.
Well, and it wasn't even necessarily going up against Frankie. He just said, I think I still have what it takes to hang with these young guys. I think I'm going to kick myself and completely, hate myself if I don't try. He begged Dana White specifically for Frankie Edgar, and he's like, Frankie's a 145er, dude. He's not even in your weight class anymore. I'll cut to 145.
See,
BJ, are you serious? And he's like, yep, that's what I want. And he's like, Dana White told him, I couldn't tell him no. He's like, I know he'd keep bugging me. He's like, I could tell him no now. He's like, but it was BJ Penn. You can't.
Yeah, but I also read articles where it's like, how many times can BJ Penn save UFC?
Right.
You know what I mean? So was it really BJ? Or did they come to BJ and they're like, hey, we need you to act like you want to fight? Everybody loves you.
BJ is one of these guys who will fight anybody, anywhere, anytime,
But
any
it just
weight.
if the way he came
he
in,
fought Lyoto Machida at light heavyweight, bro.
no, I understand that. But the
but
way
on
he
the
came
flip
out,
side,
I can't believe that he wanted that fight.
I do.
On the other side, that's the thing though too, is that if BJ Penn doesn't want to do something, he doesn't do shit.
Yeah.
He's always been like that. If he doesn't if UFC came to him and was like, can you help us out here real quick?
like,
He'd be
no.
like, no.
No.
Yeah. It's sad to see. BJ hands down going to be in the UFC Hall of Fame.
Yeah, soon too.
Yeah.
Super soon. Great weekend of fights. We got a week off this weekend. We have a couple weeks off, huh?
We do have a fight on Wednesday.
Okay.
It's too far away to start talking about.
But we do have
We'll recap it.
we got an interview coming.
Interview with Jim Miller going up on to Monday.
On Monday.
Hopefully we can get that out to you guys by Tuesday. Before his fight on Wednesday.
I'll get it out on Monday.
All right, there we go. You heard it from the man right here.
All right.
That's it. Bueller and Dodge signing off from the Ruloff Family Inc. Studios. Make sure you get us on our Spreaker, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. Of course, on our official website, splitdecisionmma.com. Subscribe on iTunes. You won't miss a show. If you find us on Facebook, it's Split Decision MMA Podcast, and Twitter and Instagram, SD_MMA. Tell your friends. Spread the word. We like it when you guys listen, because otherwise we can talk to ourselves.
I don't even listen.
I don't listen anyway.
I have to listen. I gotta mix this shit.
So I guess that's it. Till next time, have a good night. We'll see you at the fights.